Hello everyone and welcome to the complete 2025 guide for Ark of Osiris. Let's start with the main point. Who is this video for? This guide will be useful for teams that want to improve their results in Ark of Osiris through well-thought-out strategy and coordinated gameplay, just like top teams do. I've divided this video into two parts, one for regular players and another for organizers. If you're just a player and want to understand the strategy, watch until this timestamp. Don't worry, I'll tell you in advance when you can switch off. In the second part, I'll explain how to organize everything properly and share my personal insights to save you time. There will be a lot of information, but I'll try to stay on point and not burden you with obvious things. So listen carefully. Let's begin. This is the Osiris map with all structures marked. We'll use it for clarity during the explanation. You will be divided into 4 teams: a line, bottom, B line, bottom, C line, top, D line, top. This table shows who has which zone of responsibility using fictional players as examples. I'll leave a link to it in the comments so organizers can use it. The TPQ columns show who makes teleports first immediately after capturing an obelisk and who needs to wait. This is an important point because after capture we only get 8 teleports for each obelisk, with the game providing more teleports over time. Players marked in blue are garrison leaders. Players marked in red are rally leaders. Check marks show your zone of responsibility, where you send troops to garrison and rally, as well as where you fight in the field. X1 means you should always keep 1 march free for the garrison or rally of this structure. The Ark column marks players and how many marches they will send for the Ark. If you don't understand something now, don't worry. The video will probably be clearer. Now directly about the strategy by stages. At the beginning of the match, we will launch 2 horse rally on the enemy obelisks and 2 infantry rallies led by Cow and Ethelflaed for speed and a garrison in the reinforce, so that later we can change in obelisks. Who should go to the rally is marked in the table. Those responsible for T1 will send fast marches to our obelisks for a quick capture. We will also do 3 cavalry rallies for enemy outposts. This will help us slow down the enemy and score points for the first capture. The match has just started. The rallies are pushed. Where do the field marches go? Our key task at the beginning is to be the first to capture both our and enemy structures. For the first capture of the altars, 750 points are given, then 150 points per minute. For the first capture of the shrine, 400 points are given, then 80 points per minute. To make it clearer what I want to say next, let's watch a piece of a match between the top teams of the Osiris League. Pay attention to the blue team and where they are sending their marches. Officers set markers where players need to gather in Murder Ball. Let's examine it in more detail. They gather in Murder Ball behind their altars to repel the opponent's attack. If there won't be an attack, they will go on the offensive themselves. However, they don't do the same for their shrine. Instead, they go on the offensive to the enemy's altar, trying to get the first capture. Notice how quickly events develop. Just 4 minutes into the match, they're already attacking the enemy altar. You can't delay. And at the start of the match, you should immediately send marches to the point where your zone of responsibility marker will be. I hope it's clearer now because we will be doing exactly the same. If we look at the table again, we will see that the players are distributed on the map so as to be in line with the defense of our structure and the attack on the enemies, so that players do not need to be torn between flanks and can concentrate on one. Let's go over this again. The match has just begun, and the field marches are moving towards the ball markers of their zone of responsibility. Check where your zone of responsibility is on the map before the match so as not to confuse the marker during the match. Attack on enemy structures. If your task is to participate in an attack on enemy altars, then at the start of the match, you especially need to hurry to get to the opening of the structure and gather in an ideal murder ball where the marker is. If our opponent is experienced, they will attempt to bypass their altar and create a murder ball, so stick together as one unit, avoiding the dispersion of the murder ball, and follow the markers. The first attack on the enemy altars will be only field marches with the help of swarm. At the beginning, the altars are under the shield, and rally cannot be done. If everything goes well and we capture the altars, we will not be able to hold them until the end. The enemy will return them anyway. If the altar is lost, put the ball marker and start the rally. Important: field marches must be at the enemy altar before our rally arrives. We need to clear the field so that the enemy does not destroy our assembly. As soon as the field is clear, start the swarm. If your march turns red, move it to the side so as not to interfere with fresh units attacking. As for the enemy obelisk, ideally we should always rally to the obelisk so that the enemy spends his strength on it. Rally leaders, look at the situation. If you understand that it is better to direct your strength elsewhere, then wait with the rally. Enemy outposts. At the start of the match, we launched 3 horse rallies on enemy outposts, and we will continue this throughout the match, except for the Ark time. Also, the task of those responsible for the enemy outpost is to prevent the enemy from collecting resources, because collecting brings quite a lot of points to the overall score, and during the Ark, prevent marches from going to the center to make them yellow. Defending our structures. Our main task is to prevent the loss of our altars, so at the start of the match, those responsible for our altars will gather in a murder ball behind our altars to preempt the enemy's attack. Keep the murder ball strong. Don't let it disperse. As for our shrines, they won't have field support, as field marches on that line will be busy attacking the enemy altar. Still, we maintain a full garrison for the shrine. Therefore, as soon as our altars and shrines open, we must immediately fill their garrison, as the enemy will also try to attack them. Throughout the match, we ensure that our structures have a garrison leader and that it's full. If the opponent does not attack our altars, we will move the marker and go on the offensive against their shrine. The enemy will most likely rally on our obelisk, so the players responsible for our obelisk will need to reinforce it as needed. Those responsible for our outposts will make sure that they are always captured and will place a garrison there if there are no attacks. Then you can leave 1 march in each outpost. Each outpost gives 30 points per minute, so this is very important. That's the whole plan for structures. It's clear, and if you stick to it, you'll always have a specific task. Stay focused. No matter how good the plan is, don't just blindly follow it. Assess the situation, be in discord. If the enemy suddenly stops pressing your points and focuses on one lane, switch and help your team where needed. Now about the players who are responsible for the Ark. Most of you are responsible for garrisons and rallies, so you'll have to go for the Ark with not 5 marches, but however many are left. I indicated this number by writing X3, etc. That is, you do not leave our structures without a garrison. You may not rally on an enemy structure at the moment of Ark, but our structures must have a garrison or enemy ones if they are under our control. Therefore, always keep a march as a backup if you are a garrison leader or a rally leader. A lot depends on you in this match. The Ark appears 15 minutes after the start of the match. You should be there 2 minutes before the Ark appears and gather in a murder ball. This means that when there are 5 minutes left before the Ark, you should already be heading there. When there is less than a minute left before the Ark appears, we activate the buff and you attack. We take the Ark after there are almost no enemy troops left, and only take it with cavalry. We carry the Ark to our nearest structures, never to the enemies. You need to accompany the Ark until we deliver it. After delivering the Ark, you can help in defending and attacking structures, and prepare for the next Ark, which will be again in 15 minutes. This was the entire strategy, but let's summarize the most important points. 1. Be on Discord voice. You don't have to speak, but you need to listen. This enhances teamwork. 2. Look at the table and map before the match to understand your areas of responsibility. 3. The garrison and rally must always be full. Check the rally leaders of your line before the match, and when you see them launching a rally, send your troops there. 4. There's no need to finish off the enemy's red marches. It's beneficial for us when they take a long time to refresh them. 5. Before the game, I advise you to quickly watch some top Osiris League match to clearly see how to act. And don't be upset if you don't succeed the first time. A lot of training and you won't be broken. This is where the first part of the video ends. Thanks for watching this far. If you are not the organizer, feel free to turn off the video. The following tips are specifically for those who are taking on the organization of the team. And now, a few recommendations that will help you organize everything correctly. 1. Create a Google form with questions about accounts, VIP level, equipment, commanders, etc., and ask the team members to fill it out. I will leave an example of such a form in the comments. 2. Based on this data, you can start forming a team. You will also find a link to my distribution table in the comments. 3rd, an optional but useful tip. Make a map with the arrangement. This will make it easier to explain the strategy to the team. An example of a map is there, in the comments. Be sure to use voice chat, for example, Discord. This is really half the battle. Without coordination, it is difficult to achieve anything. 5. Don't ignore the in-game tools. They really help and make it easier to control during the match. 6. Don't forget to activate alliance skills before the battle. 7. As for Osiris's skills, I can recommend this option, and to understand what to use when, I advise you to watch the top matches of the Osiris League. This is the most visual way to figure it out. That's all. The video turned out to be long, but I hope it was useful. If you have any questions, write in the comments. I will be happy to answer. Thanks for watching.